Let's get better. Now, I believe that part of what life is about, a big part of what life is about, is learning to know the difference between what I really see versus what I think that I really see. How many of you feel like you're savvy enough to know the difference between illusion and reality when you see it? Just raise up your hands. All right. Some tentative, we shall see. We shall see. Because I'm about to perform for you a true classic in fun and magic. This is called the Torn and Restored Wall Street Journal. In this effect, I would take this ordinary newspaper, tear it completely into shreds, and then through the sheer magic of mental concentration, I will then cause the hopelessly shredded pieces to be recombined and reassembled exactly as they were before. Thank you anyway, all four of you. But am I really going to do this thing? What do you say? No. Okay, not a chance. What you're about to see is an elaborate hoax. It only looks like it's real. But folks, it does look like it's real. In fact, you'll even think you hear the newspaper being torn. And a few of you, the really gullible ones, may be so sucked into my illusion in a moment that some of you may actually think you see separate little pieces of the newspaper as they float gently down to the ground. I assure you, ladies, gentlemen, it's just a trick. And now the torn and restored newspaper. Now the reason that magicians call this part an illusion is because we never actually tear the newspaper at all. That's just part of the trick. How many of you are starting to get sucked into my illusion right here? All right, 17, okay. Now, I would admit that it does look an awfully lot like I'm actually tearing this here newspaper. In fact, if you listen carefully, you can almost hear the fibers of the newspapers as they're not being torn. How many of you can almost hear the fibers not being torn? Get your hands up. Yeah, some people come up after my conference keynote presentations or my increasing human effectiveness training workshops. That's a plug. And they say, but Brad, I could have sworn that you actually really did tear that newspaper. But see, those people are perhaps led to believe this. People may actually think they believe this because some people are so sucked into my illusion at this point that they actually think that they see this Wall Street Journal as the shredded pieces float down to the ground. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, as I pick up the separate little pieces of the newspaper that just inadvertently fell to the ground. Okay, Reed, they're not buying that part either. Okay, now for the magic part of my trick. You see, this is where I, Magic Brad, don't laugh. In a sort of a barehanded fuse welding process, I will now attempt to recombine and reassemble the hopelessly shredded pieces of the newspaper until they're exactly as they were before.